MJ, Fadeaway, perfect.
Dude, that guy.
I think it's Hansel Emmanuel. I don't know, but maybe that's what his name is.
Is it?
I think so. Anyways,
oh yeah, you're right. Hansel Emmanuel. Yeah. Hansel
has handle.
That dude is such a fucking inspiration to me. Like, for real.
Yeah.
Like, that guy is dominating, and he's dominating in a sport where really you need like all of the appendages, and he's doing it without one, and it's fucking and on top of that, he's like really, really good. Like, he's like, and he's a competitor. Like, that is like so fucking inspirational to me. I mean, you adapt and be your best, and that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, man. I mean,
like, so fucking inspiring, man. So yeah, I just wanted to start with that because, like, that dude, if he doesn't give you some perspective, I don't know what else will, because it's just super obvious. I mean, like, he lost his arm, like, in like some type of weird accident when he was like 6, and like so he lost his. You know how traumatic that is? He lost his fucking arm when he was 6, man, and then he just grows up and like fuck all that. I'm gonna fucking adapt and dominate. Like, that just gives me so much like joy and like enthusiasm for life. Like, that's some really, really powerful shit for me. So I just wanted to start with that because I felt like that's like a really that's a really good vibe, you know?
Yeah. I mean, we just know he's going right, you know? I mean, at least that much. I think like
he's nice.
A good chance. But he is nice. Yeah, you just gotta shade him to the left, you know, and then I think, you know, you got a good chance of, you know, getting a stop. But actually, I saw he made a couple of shots like going to his left. Like, yeah, so I don't know. That guy's nice. He's better at basketball than I've ever been. So
way better. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Inspiration of the week, huh? Hansel Emmanuel.
Yeah.
Keep going, brother. Yeah, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
How'd you come across his that story?
Man, I mean, dude, I think one of the best like large Instagram accounts, like out of like corporations, is Sports Center.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, like, they do a good job. They curate a bunch of just like, it's all mainstream shit that's like good sports. I don't know. They've got a really good tone to their social.
Yeah.
Specifically on Instagram.
Yeah. I'll have to check them out. I don't think I follow them. Awesome, man. So, I mean, since we're talking about sports, Super Bowl. So we had Super Bowl, I don't know, was it 56? How many? What are we at right now? LVI? That's 56?
Is it? Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
And, you know, kudos to the Rams. What?
Is it? Oh, no, V5. Yeah, you're right. Oh, yeah. 56. Sorry.
Yeah,
I had to do the Roman numerals in my head. I hadn't thought about Roman numerals in a while.
Yeah, man. Anyways, kudos to the Rams, and they got it done. I think everybody was really intrigued with the halftime show. I will tell you, like, I got my life. I mean, I was very excited about that. I did call Dr. Dre was going to wear a leather jacket in the first quarter. I knew, because that cat sleeps in a leather black jacket, and I was like, this is what he's wearing. He wore it. and about 2 people gave me a clap, high five, and then nobody else cared. But I just want to call it. I did call that. So FYI, what was your take on it?
Well, he always wears black leather jackets.
Hey, man.
So it's a good bet. It's a good bet.
I know a thing or two about a thing or two. Let me just tell you.
Dude, even what was
I
his?
should have tweeted that and timestamped it. Honestly.
Yeah, but again, like I'm saying, he always wears leather jackets.
Yeah,
I guess the black part is yeah. So like that's like his like rhythm. He's always wearing it. You can bet on it.
Yeah, it's easy. It's like the Zuckerberg approach to dressing, like, which is you don't think about it. You wear a hoodie, you don't make hard decisions in the morning. You just put on your hoodie and then you go. Monday through Friday.
Can we just
and
tangent?
you know what? Is he still rocking that hoodie? Because he kind of made it cool and then it passed. And is he still rocking that zip up hoodie?
Who?
Zucks?
I have no idea.
I know this is a little bit of a different. Oh, you kind of leave the frame. I don't know.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. So Zuckerberg. So does he? I want to get back to the Super Bowl, but before we get there, I need to know: is he still rocking the hooded sweatshirt with the zip?
I don't know. I have no idea. I think I've seen him without it.
Okay.
But like, dude, can we just a tangent real quick? He is he's got to be like one of the most.
Gray shirt.
Huh?
Zucks wears gray shirts and jeans.
Yeah, he wears a lot of that shit. Yeah.
Yes.
And he's just out of touch, man. He's just like super out of touch. He's very like awkward in like the media, like it's bizarre to me. I don't know. It's just like weird to see the guy like interact.
Yeah. I mean that's a hot take there, buddy.
Have you seen the have you seen that meme that like turns him into looking like Data from Star Trek?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
Like I can't unsee that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's like robotic. It's weird.
Yes. So getting back to person that wears the same thing all the time, Dre, and he's one of my idols. I just want to make that clear. I still believe Chronic 2001, one of the greatest albums of all time, probably top 10 hip hop albums. And it's up there for sure. So, like, what did you think of the performance? What came to mind when you saw that? Are we all signing up for our AARP cards soon after that? Because I was like, I'm the old dude now. You know what I'm saying? That was very clear. I was like, yo, this is lit. We got like, yeah. Anyways,
it's just weird because that's how they marketed it too. It's like that's I kept on hearing and seeing shit like rap oldies. Like it's I guess it's that. There's no problem with that. It was just weird. It was like I haven't really thought of rap ever in that context, I guess,
Rap oldies.
Yeah.
I mean, well, Sugar
like
Hill
even
Gang.
80s shit.
Those guys are in their like
80s
60s
shit.
probably by now.
Oh,
How
yeah.
old is Sugar Hill Gang? They were right after disco. It turned like disco straight into like hip hop. Like around that time.
Yeah.
Anyways, like I could probably look it up how old those guys are, but I mean, it's definitely getting to oldies time,
Mm-hmm.
So you thought oldies. I was thinking oldies, but I was also thinking of like the younger generation. I'm like, do they think this is cool? They probably don't think it's cool or whatever, but you kind of got to respect it. Like, and maybe I'm just projecting, but like now they're gonna have to put up with the music that I was a fan of growing up, and that's just how they're gonna have to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what else to tell you. Like, your time to deal with, older performers at halftime. It's your time now, young ones. Like,
yeah,
old heads like me get to enjoy, what the classics, the true classics.
but you're not even close to an old head yet, though.
Yeah.
You know
I feel like it. I mean, hip hop's a young man's game, but the thing is that's changing. I think they're like, I think Busta came out with some new. Snoop actually came out with a new album on Friday, which I listened to, which was pretty dope, honestly. Anyways, we can get to that, but I want to tackle the Super Bowl performance because I did think that for me it was interesting. It was like. Okay, so I used to play football in college, and we had this game every year. It was an alumni game where you have people that graduated come, throw on the pads, make sure your insurance is tight or whatever. But like, it's like you scrimmage the like JV team, right? Or like and I think I played in that like one time against the old guys, and my coach like broke his nose. Anyways, you see all these like older guys trying to fit into these like smaller uniforms, and everybody's got their man weight, where we were all like young men at a point, and you're just like, it's like a little muffin top over the edge, and then just you don't have the same feet you had when you're younger. And I was just like, I felt like the old guys at that, like during that performance. And I'm like, I love it because it's cool to see them, but they're like, it's like aged. It's like a fine wine. You know what I'm saying? It's like 50 drops down and he's the full dollar. Like you said, like, what did you say? It was like,
oh yeah. You mean full dollar?
Yeah, full dollar. A whole ass dollar.
I thought it honestly looked like all of his blood went to like the top half of his body.
Yeah.
Which could have been the case.
Because he actually was rapping, at least from what I could tell.
Dude,
I mean,
how old? He's nearly 50, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, if not, if he's not 50,
we could probably find out.
Yeah, we can find out. We can find out real quick.
How old is 50 Cent? I will say it was interesting with his lower body. For a second, I was like, is this guy in a portal or something? Like, is his legs like, where did his legs go? And then all of a sudden, he just like kind of freaking drops down. And I'm like, okay, 50, I see you, bro. I see you. Yeah, so I was a fan. I just think I was reminded of my age. One other thing, too, that I would just highlight that I thought was dope was
46.
46?
Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah, so we're close enough. 50, we're right there. 50th birthday is going to be nuts.
That's kind of funny. I didn't even think about that.
Strategic there. He's still, I mean, that's going to be a great birthday. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm a little jealous, honestly.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
what was I going to say? I was going to talk about Kendrick. So, I loved how he came out. The other thing I think is interesting is it kind of came full circle. It was a little emotional for me because I remember seeing Kendrick at the Roseland in Portland when after Section 80 came out, Good Kid, Mad City was about to come out. I don't think it had dropped yet. It was going to drop in like a couple weeks, and he previewed a couple tracks and then like performed, and it was like, this is a small venue in Portland, like mid-size, you can fit a couple hundred people in there. And just like seeing him there, I was like, yo, this guy is dope. And then to see full circle, like, I don't know, man, like 10 years later at the Super Bowl, and just it was cool. It was cool to see somebody progress that far. I thought it was dope. I thought that was inspiring.
Yeah, that's always a nice kind of like realization, like the growth. That's the evident growth.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, and he's developed. I will say his like stage presence, his artistry, as far as like how he's performing on stage, has like grown dramatically. He's very like, it's kind of like he's moving more like an actor these days. I'm surprised he's not in more like Hollywood kind of stuff. But
well, he just executive produced a movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
And I know he was on Black Panther, at least producing that record, or like executive producing. I think, right? No,
he's an artist on it. Dre did that. I thought.
I don't think so. Let me see here.
I thought that was Dre.
No, that was. Yeah, he curated the soundtrack for Black Panther.
Yeah. Got it.
So what else? What else did you think of Super Bowl performance? Any other takes? Did you thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs sideways?
I mean, as far as the Super Bowl goes, it was a good game. I mean, like it came down to 2 minutes. I mean, you know, that's a pretty good game.
I mean, the halftime performance, like.
Oh yeah, I thought it was extravagant. I thought it was cool. It was cool. It wasn't like not that I was like disappointed by it, but I was kind of underwhelmed by it, honestly. Like it was a little bit underwhelming for me. I think my favorite part, honestly, was the cuts to Jay-Z, like rhyming along with "Still Dre."
Yeah, right.
I think that was my favorite part. Actually, was just seeing him doing that, and he was like super stoked, and it's like he wrote that. So like, like it's I thought that was cool.
Yeah. Did he write that whole record?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Damn.
Dude, Dre
he
and
wrote
Snoop.
Snoop's and Dre's part?
Yeah. He wrote the whole song.
Wait, was an M's on that too, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Damn. I didn't know Jay-Z wrote the whole thing.
He wrote Snoop and Dre's parts, I know.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I don't think he wrote Eminem's parts.
Gotcha.
But maybe he did.
I don't know. It's nice to have a pen like that on your track, though. You know.
Yeah. Oh man. Like
I didn't know how much does Jay-Z has he ghostwritten? Like I feel like he's kind of moved past that, but I mean I'm sure he's still in that creative mode. Who knows? Like how much he's writing.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Man, he's such a fucking interesting dude.
Yeah.
I mean, like, talk about evident growth. I mean, like, that dude is like the embodiment of that, like at the highest level, I feel like.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, you know?
Yeah, man. Agreed. Okay, so
what did you think about the game, though?
I mean, it's a football game. I played football growing up. I'm like, I think the football was pretty good. Actually, the playoffs this year is pretty crazy. Like, I'm not huge on NFL. I'm mostly a college football guy, but I think I thought it was a good game. I thought it was tough that Odell got banged up, you know, on the biggest stage.
Oh, dude, that sucked. That sucked so bad.
They got it done. Hopefully he can, I don't know. I haven't looked into it. I'm sure, I don't know. Who knows what happened, but I hope he can recover okay. He was rocking the purple dew, too, which I was like, okay, I'm with this. I can get with this. I see you. That pastel purple, I was like, I don't think I ever saw a dude with that color hair that's black ever. Like, I mean, but I'm digging. I wasn't mad at it because I think a dude like that he could swing it, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like his whole thing has been like fashion swagger. Like that's been part of his like thing.
He was rocking those like Dion earrings.
Yeah.
Like,
he's been doing that for a while. Yeah.
And dude, that kind of became a thing. He's kind of a trendsetter, honestly. Like when it comes to like football, there's not too many cool guy football players, like, you know, that I feel like break through. I feel like he kind of has busted through to become like a little bit of a trendsetter.
Dude, for sure. And dude, I mean, like he just tossed his gloves to Kanye and his kids and shit, and that's another thing. Kanye
tossed his gloves?
Yeah, before the game, he tossed his gloves to Kanye.
Oh, okay.
And his kids.
Oh, nice.
He was sitting right there with Antonio Brown, like right on the sideline. Yeah.
Oh my God, what a pair that is, dude.
Yeah, dude. He named Antonio Brown, or maybe Antonio Brown named himself.
You know who got dragon energy is fucking Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
Bro.
Well, check this out. Kanye named him the president of Donda Sports, whatever that is.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although I didn't hear Kanye say it, Antonio Brown said it, so I don't.
Yeah, maybe he was like, when you get too.
I don't think he's lying, but you got.
Like I think you need to get like lawyers involved. You need to get like business managers involved. Like I mean, we're talking about two extraordinarily successful black men. One that's extremely successful. Obviously, Antonio Brown is one of the best receivers in the game. All respect, but the guy definitely has. He's got dragon energy. That's the best way I could describe it. And
yeah, they're a pair. They're quite the pair.
Sure. Those two together, Jesus Christ, yo, someone like I don't know. I'm just like, this is either gonna be amazing or this is gonna be a disaster. But either way, I think like you want to watch. You want to see what happens.
Dude. I always get like upset whenever Kanye is like all over the place, like when I can't like escape something about Kanye, you know, even if I try. Yeah. And like I'm always like concerned for the man because he's very, very publicly bipolar, and it just like, you know, those are like pathologies, you know, like it's like, okay, this is like a marker for certain stages of something, you know,
little like, impulsiveness. I think, I think that's interesting. It's an interesting thing because we kind of root for Kanye, and then we also, you know, kind of shake our heads sometimes and like, can you believe this shit? And I'm like, I don't know, man. The guy somehow he's like Teflon, man. That guy cannot. I don't think he can be canceled at this point unless there's some shit that comes out. I don't think he's like.
I mean, I
don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know all the dirt and stuff with Kanye, but I'll just say, like, I feel like he would have got, if he was gonna get Me Too'd or something like that, it would have came out already. Like, I feel like.
I'm not worried about that.
I'm like, but that guy. I'm like, damn, he has done some wild shit, like the Taylor Swift thing, like. Just jumping up there like willy-nilly. I'm like, with all the industry folks there, and like obviously that's wild, even though he was right, I think, in his assessment. I do think that it's really disrespectful, like to do that, like for somebody's moment. Obviously, you know, he's his, like, that's old news, but for me, like I just see this man that he's probably having a moment, like he's triggered. I mean, if you think about it, like, and maybe I'm putting myself in his shoes, but you know how like around Christmas time, There's a lot more suicides. There's a lot more like emotion. I think depression, seasonal, like obviously the weather and then other stuff, but there's a choke point in your life where like you have to face like either you have a great family situation or your family situation is shitty or it's meh or you'd like it to be something else, or you're going to have to come to a head and deal with that. And that happens around Christmas. I'm thinking with Kanye and Valentine's Day, they all, going through that divorce and all that and family shit. I'm like, it had to lead to some outburst, and so I'm like, and then obviously we saw what happened. So, we got a clear conscience. Or what did he say? I got a clear, I have a clear vision. Vision is crystal clear. That's it. Yeah, boom.
I kind of think what he's doing, though, like with Kim and everything, well, admirable, kind of. I'm kind of creeped out by it a little bit, If
sharing the text or...
Well, all of it. Like it seems pretty clear from one side, like it's like done, like move on type of thing,
Yeah.
And that's why it feels a little bit, I don't know. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah. Well, you never know. I mean, listen, man, like you talk about love bombing, bro. Like that was a love, like bombardment. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you familiar with love bombing at all?
No, what's love bombing?
So love bombing is like when a dude first meets a woman and he like bombards her with like affection and things and promises and like, hey girl, I'm gonna take you to, Hawaii, and then we're gonna get married, we're gonna have children, we're gonna do like they kind of like do this big show of like offense, like love offense, and then in order to impress the woman, and usually they pull it back like right after, as soon as they get what they want, then it's gone or they're out. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
So anyways, I was just thinking, I was like, this is a grandiose gesture. And I don't know if I'm just hating because I've never like gotten a truck full of roses from a lady, but like worst comes to worst, I might just want to send her in all caps, text, letting her know I need you back. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Kanye's got the all caps down for sure.
Yeah. But he learned. He learned, right?
Yeah.
He says, I need a group. I was like, is he hiring? Because he was like, I need a group of creative professionals. I was like, I'm a creative professional. I mean, like, yo, Kanye, what do you need? Like, did you see his caption after he responded to everything in Instagram?
No.
So basically, he was like, I need... And he rolled out like 5 different like roles of people that he needs to keep him on the rails. And he highlighted creative professional. I was like, hey, you looking, man, I can keep you off the ledge, bro. Like I got you. I got you, yay.
Wait, you did you DM him?
No. But okay. Maybe I should. I mean, not a bad idea. You know what I'm saying, to be honest.
You never know.
What do you got to lose?
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
That's 100,000% facts. So we got on Kanye. Okay, so really hoping the best. I hope he can work it out, or at least come up with some amicable, because yeah,
100%.
Still a hero. He deserves. He's a generational producer. I just want to say this. He's shaped the culture in so many ways. Like, I mean, we talk about him every goddamn episode of this. For some reason, it stays in the news, man. Anyways, like,
can we just stop calling him a genius, though? That's one thing. Like, hot take, just.
Ooh,
I just don't think we should be.
Genius.
Yeah, I don't think you. I don't
You gotta
think
look
you
at-
can just claim that though. Like I don't. It's a weird thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
It's also weird that I feel weird to express that. Like I feel like it's an
So-
unpopular opinion or something, and it's probably like met with.
I think I would agree with you in certain contexts. So the only area I agree with you is if you look at genius is typically applied to like spatial or like mathematics or linguistic abilities or creative abilities. I think if you want to look at music, I wouldn't hesitate to call him, a genius in that space, in that particular respect. Because if you look at the actual definition, it says a person who is exceptionally intelligent or creative, either generally or in some particular respect. So I was like, in a particular respect, as far as producing hip hop, I mean,
I'll give him that.
it's tough to deny.
But he's not generally a genius, though. Is kind of what I was, and I feel like
genius.
Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah, but was he making music like Kanye was? He was.
I mean, he was making music. Yeah.
The hit like Kanye though.
I mean, he's a Renaissance painter and inventor
Da Vinci.
and
Da Vinci was dope.
no, I'm just saying, like, I don't know. It also seems weird to just like claim that of yourself, that part, but it's also provocative enough to make you be like, huh? I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I feel like Kanye's biggest enemy is his own ego, man. Like, that's his biggest enemy, and like having so many yes men around you is not a good thing in your life. You need people to reflect the reality for you in order to truly grow, I think. And I think he doesn't like anybody who's like against him right now. Like and he likes Trump, and Trump does that same thing. And I'm like, dude, that's not good. I don't think that's good. I don't think he's allowing like a balancing perspective around him at the moment.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. It has kind of worked for him so far. You know what I'm saying? In certain respects, like when it comes to artwork. Because if you think like, does that make him an amazing like husband?
He's got 3 kids, man.
Like life partner? I don't know. I think maybe it's probably pretty challenging to keep up with.
He's got 3 kids, and he's like brought them into all of it and everything. I mean, like that.
I think he's got more than that. They got more than that, pretty sure.
Four. My bad. 4 kids.
Yeah, you got to go read up, bro. No, I think like, and I'm not questioning his abilities as a father, provider. I think he's got to be a challenging person to be in a romantic relationship with, though. Like,
dude, 100%. Yeah.
I'm like, I definitely agree on that aspect, because I'm like, you're gonna throw this all out in the streets, like your guys' private text is not the good move,
dude.
Bro.
If one of my best friends growing up, he's severely bipolar. Like, he has lived at home since he's 20. Like, and a lot of the things that Kanye does is kind of pathologically similar to what my buddy does, and it's the same thing with him. His ego is his worst enemy, and like that's what I'm talking about. I'm just like worried for him in that sense. I mean, like like to what you're saying, I totally agree. I mean, like, obviously that's like working technically, but like spiritually and like emotionally it might not be.
Yeah, well, the interesting thing about that is like I think I think it gets a philosophical question about art and artists and your role, like in producing art for the general public. If you're at that level of Kanye, for instance, like think about Kurt Cobain or think about Jimi Hendrix, obviously who's succumbed to. Wait, Kurt Cobain, was he killed by somebody? Or like he killed
officially
himself.
He killed himself.
He committed suicide, right? And then rest in peace. And then we have Jimi Hendrix. He died of a drug overdose, I think. And there's too many to name. Obviously, the 27 Club and all the artists that
Janis Joplin
that left too soon. I mean, even recently, X and Avicii and some of these cats that are just like, I mean, and there's so many hip hop like.
Too many.
Just
too many.
Unceremoniously passed away too soon. But I'm like, what's your purpose here? Like as an artist, like are you here to create art that's gonna, hopefully transcend your life? And if so, and that's your mission, like if you're not the greatest dad or you're not the greatest partner, you're not the smartest guy, but you produce amazing art that contributed to the texture of culture. I always wonder, was that necessary? Like, would they have produced that artwork without that suffering? So then I think rewind it back to Kanye, and you're like, the guy clearly has, he's got a lot going on, and obviously he's handling his mental health. Some stuff is working for him, like even as backwards as I would think, like for me, just like Trump, like.
But does
it to work for him somehow? I'm like,
when define work for him. Like, what do you mean by that?
It led to successful outcomes for him, right?
But successful in what? Like, define that though. Like all of like it's if you're talking about like material wealth,
man, and one became the richest black man in the world. The other one became president of the United States, and both have pretty undesirable qualities, I think, in certain aspects of their personalities, and are a little bit unhinged in a certain regard. But it hasn't hurt them; it has only fed the machine, right? And so, what I'm saying is does this make them, going to be the next Buddha or going to be the next Jesus or what have you? That's not what I'm saying. Does that only qualify as is that going to make you a great romantic partner? No. But is that going to help you create interesting art and push boundaries? Maybe. And so I always wonder about that.
Yeah, no, I'm 100%. I follow you. It's, I guess, for me, it's just hard having grown up surrounded by the reality of being closely related to several people in that situation. And so I'm very, very sensitive to that. Objectively, I understand what you're saying. It's just, it's hard for me to remove working and successful if the person could be possibly even better than they are when they're all erratic, when they're not manic. I think that's possible, because then there's going to be another roller, I think it's possible, but I
think, I don't know anybody. I've had that in my childhood too. I don't know for a fact, but I believe, I'm not going to diagnose people, but I've been around bipolar people and it's not fun. In my case, it wasn't fun, but I think, and I'm not going to try to blanket everybody that has bipolar disorder, as, abusive or whatever, not at all. I think it's a mental health issue that hopefully people can get somebody to talk to help deal with that. I think the first thing with some situations like that though is at least what I've seen with Kanye is he's willing to at least listen and seem like he's willing to hear people out on I'm still learning, listening, etc. I've seen him in different cases where I'm oh, this guy is willing to get better. But I think that's all it takes is just willing to listen, get better, and hopefully do something a little different next time. But
yeah,
who knows? Best of luck to him. I mean, I really hope he can
100%
figure it out, man. I mean, I'm rooting for the guy. Like, I personally, I understand because, I mean, I'm divorced. I've been in an unsuccessful, but just like, you know, I've been in a relationship that didn't pan out. And just like relationships come and go, but I think, and sometimes it's just not a fit, right? Like they fit you at a certain part in your life, and then you kind of move on towards what's next. But I think that I will always root for couples and families to try to work it out, you know, if at all possible. Like even if they're famous, I don't care. I'm just like, you know, I'm rooting for families because, I don't know. I think that's important. So,
yeah. Word. Yeah, no, I mean, like, yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one being, you know, like, kid of divorce, too. Like, looking at that and everything. I think, in some senses, though, like, they don't have a lot of the other things that, like we had to think about, like, money. Like, so the kids are fine in that respect, but maybe... hopefully they aren't too isolated from their parents, and hopefully they don't get put in they've already kind of been put in the middle of the parents by each of them.
Tough. And it's tough to have it play out in the public sphere too.
That's what I'm saying, man.
That's gotta be.
I'm like, I hate tough. That I know that. You know what I mean? Like, I hate that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. I think like to me, I'm just like, you know what, this guy. I mean, he's really been a hero to me since I remember watching Through the Wire first come out on 106 in Park, like literally in maybe high school, I think. Or wait, when did that come out? Like
2004, 2003.
That was my senior year. I remember watching that video. I was like, oh, okay, I dig this cat. Anyways, rest is history. But I hope he can get it nailed down and get it hashed out. But I'm like, yo, this guy has made the biggest gambles and come out
2004.
And like when you say, you know, successful, I'm just meaning like the trapping, like, you know, I'm talking about money, accolades, you know, but it didn't just come. I mean, obviously he's a super talented musician, but I just think that, man, sometimes those artists, you know, artists get tortured, and I'm just glad he can hopefully get that music out. You know, the interesting thing too is like this leads me to Donda. Like, is that obviously it was a pretty religious record. I mean, it was very much. Was that his higher self talking in there? Where's the shadow, right? Because, you know, I think Kanye has a pretty big shadow and that he's just ignoring or something. Like, and I'm like, is that going to come out or on the next record? Or did that come out with the whole Julia Fox thing? But because like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, I felt like was last time he really dove into that lane. I mean, I guess Life of Pablo, but he went more gospel with that record. So,
yeah,
like,
I still haven't listened to Donda.
Oh, really? Are you?
Yeah,
boycotting?
I always wait. No. I always wait on Kanye shit because I wanna listen without the hype around it.
Right.
So I usually give it like 3 months to breathe. And then that's when I usually dive in. That's what I've done since my Twisted Dark Fantasy. That's how I've always listened to him since that. Yeah.
It's a good time to roll it. Like, it's interesting because I did that too. I mean, it came out summertime, right? This last year. And then it's interesting this came up because I bumped it on a run I went on recently. And I was like, at first I was like, not my favorite Kanye record, but I was like, I came around to it, man. Like, I didn't. I listened mostly to the first half. The second half is it's different. Anyways, I would love to get your thoughts on it, like a Donda review.
Yeah, for sure. When I listen to it, I'll definitely bring it up because you'll be hearing someone listening to it fresh, all the way through, a little bit offset. Yeah. So yeah, I've just done that because like I try and do that actually with like certain artists like Kanye, because I found out by like getting more and more into like older artists and bands, like, you might know their most famous record, but you don't know like their other records. And then like you're like, oh yeah, I guess they have other records. I like that. I'm going to check out their other record. And you might find like something that you like, even like way better, that you just didn't know about, that type of thing. Yeah. And I think a lot of that is just because you literally didn't know about it. So it's almost like, I feel like it provides like a cleaner slate to listen to music when there's no pretense, when it's just like, you don't really know anything about it, except for now that it exists, you haven't heard it, So yeah, that's why I do that.
Interesting.
It is, because like I've listened to other stuff that's like hype and people are like hyped on it, and I'm like, I'm not feeling it, and I'm like, I think I have a contrarian sensibility, so like I don't want to have that bias like affect my first listening to a record that I want to listen to.
CLB?
CLB, yeah.
Okay.
I don't have that with Drake.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
You dove right in.
Yeah, that one's fine. It's just Kanye. Kanye is all like, this is, I think my biggest thing with Kanye is that's it. He's all hype. Like his whole thing is hype. He is like the embodiment of hype, like constantly. And he was even just talking about fucking trending at the Super Bowl. Like, why are you talking about trending? Who cares? Like, I think he's really, really like, yeah, I don't know. I'm like, why does that matter? And why are you flexing that? Like, that's tacky, man.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that. I think like, yeah, man. I mean, the show business, like I think sometimes like it's a little bit of a reach. I think like the guys accomplish a lot, but I think when you have a certain level of success, it's never enough, right? Like think about and I think it's like, maybe this is a narcissistic personality disorder thing. I don't know if this is like accurate. I'm not diagnosing anybody, but I know that, for instance, with Trump, it was never enough. Even when he was president, it wasn't enough. Like,
yeah, that's what it's feeling like with Trump.
Yeah,
Kanye,
right. So they're behaviorally, you're looking at like, okay, well, like what else, dude? I mean, you've done it all. Like the thing is there's with somebody with a mentality like that, there's not enough. You just have to keep going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I don't have to buy it.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's kind of what I'm
enough to like comment on it, right? Like that you don't fuck with it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I still, but I also like the human side again, like is the one that I think I'm most concerned about. Just because like I know my friends, like it's hellish for them. Like if he's truly bipolar, it's not fun. It's not. Yeah. I mean, like I think he truly is, because that one line that was on was it Kids See Ghosts, or which one was it on? Where he said something like I hate being bipolar, I love it, or something like that. Or
something like that. Yeah. I can't remember, but yeah.
I mean, that is a pretty apt.
It's more like you more like want to. If I'm understanding what you're saying, so you're saying you want to be more like you're concerned for his well-being as a human being.
Yes, 100%.
More so than like.
He's already a great artist. He doesn't have like what else. That's fine, but like I'm just worried about him as a human being. Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
My fiance said the same thing. She was worried about him too. Like
every time he's done this since Twisted Dark Fantasy again, like, and every single time there's like this flurry of media type, like I just. Like knowing what I know about people living with that disease, like it's not easy to that's what I was trying to say earlier, is like it's not easy to overlook that, knowing that like it's kind of like I've kind of like crossed the point of no return with that, like, so whenever he comes up and this is happening, like there's been times when he's been super chill, like right when they announced they were getting divorced, he was quiet, he was respectful, and then all of a sudden he just started in all caps, man. Like
all caps, baby.
Zero to
yeah, I don't think you heard me. All caps.
All caps.
I definitely advise. I've never done a text in all caps. I'm just gonna say that, like, and not like you got to be like me, but I'm like, I try to keep it, nice and easy.
Unless it's like, a clear punchline to a text joke, there's no way I've written anything in all caps outside of that context. Yeah.
Why are you yelling at me? Especially like reading all caps text. You're just like, bro, can you stop yelling at me, please? Like, what is going on here, dude?
Isn't it interesting that, like, we evolved to emotionally react to fonts like that somewhat quickly because so much more of our communication started becoming in text in real time. Before, it never had really before.
Here's my take on that. Like, in our English system, like understanding English, maybe I'll respond like that, because I only learned the difference between capital letters and lowercase letters and grammar and everything because I understand English. I understand how it is formed and how you structure what you're going to say and all that stuff. But if you're like ancient Sumerian or some kind of like hieroglyphics, did they have all caps? Like, that's an interesting, take, like, and so they could get yelled at through whatever text.
You mean if they had stylistic markers for emotion?
Yeah. I mean,
because that's basically what caps are like now. But see, like, until we started texting, I don't think all caps was like you could there's novels with like paragraphs of all caps, which shows a stylistic thing, but it wasn't necessarily that the person was yelling. But then it slowly started to kind of become interpreted that way because of texting, I think. Well, at first IM, like AOL, like AIM, and then texting, and email.
Well, you know how like in Spanish, like there's the exclamation point and then like upside down exclamation point to like, I guess introduce enthusiasm, to what you're saying. Like basically all caps is like a giant exclamation point across, like scraped across all your text writing. And I'm like, it does come off like it's kind of hard to read. You know what's so interesting about that is, some fonts are easy to read, others are hard to read. Reading all caps is just like a little challenging. Just like it's a little challenging to listen to somebody yell at you. You're like,
it kind of depends on the context, though.
Yeah,
it kind of depends on like the like. It's hard to read in the context of the font on Instagram or on text, but like in the context of like graphic design and stuff, it doesn't necessarily even come off as yelling, you know?
I agree there. But like when you have like a paragraph like this, it's all text, like that's all caps. It's not comfortable to read that.
No.
Even if it was capital and lowercase, it's not comfortable to read a paragraph this long in like brick text. You need to like break it up. This is like,
damn, you getting paragraph text over here.
Yeah, I mean, did you see the comment? Like what he wrote on there? It was like this.
No, I know. It's like dude, yeah. He also, that's the other thing. He kind of, I feel like he's kind of done a screenshot of those texts surgically by removing some of what he said above, because like some of it is like, wait, what'd you say right before that? Because that's weird. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
I don't think that's a good look to me personally.
No, it's a terrible look. It's a terrible look, man.
Screenshotting private messages for the public to see.
I don't think that it's appropriate at all, honestly.
Yeah,
especially for someone of his reach.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's going to help you get your lady back, but I'm rooting for you. So I like, again, I want to root for families. So if y'all can make it work, great. If not, hey man, no sweat off my back. I'm just, I hope he can put out a good record again and hopefully be in a healthy spot.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
So that kind of gets, I mean, since we're kind of on the subject, this came out was disturbing and
hey, one
thing.
Oh yeah. Let's. I really gotta piss real quick. Let's take a
Yeah, just saging over here.
Just saging that grain.
Yeah, man.
That grain. Yeah.
So I wanted to dive into, you brought this up as a subject, the Isaiah Rashad thing. Do you want to talk a little bit about what's going on there?
Yeah, so last week, apparently, someone leaked a graphic video of Isaiah Rashad with two other men. And dude, for the most part, the support online has been surprising to me, because like usually, you know, the hip hop community hasn't been exactly LGBTQ friendly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so seeing that outpouring of support is pretty great. That was my initial reaction, and then right after that, my next reaction was really, really sad and really, really worried about the Isaiah Rashad, because like if that's true and it's like authentic, that man, someone is a slime ball for stealing someone's private, you know, like property like that, and B, outing someone without their consent, you know, like that's pretty shitty to a black man in the hip hop community. Like outing him without his consent is pretty, I don't know. I think that's pretty.
I think it's a shit move, man. Like
it's a super shit move, man.
I think that's like because like for me, I personally don't care who you sleep with.
Who gives a shit, man? Who fuck? Are you a good person?
Literally don't care. I'm just like cool, like whatever you got going on. But I think like you know that's just another level, man. Like you know, especially if you're not out in public or you know, and then to come out like that. And I know he's got mental health challenges, as we all do. I think we all like, you know, try to do our best to maintain our mental health, and like have that come out. Like it's gotta feel like, you know, shit. But I think to what your point, I was also encouraged by the support he got, and you know, I don't know, man. I think it might come out to his benefit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be tough to get through this because obviously it's embarrassing, and you know, like, that's not.
Dude, I can't imagine if it was truly like leaked against his consent. If that's the case, I would feel so violated on so many levels. Like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, and dude, in the past, he has talked very, very, very like frankly about depression and like suicidal thoughts and shit. And like, so this, you know, I really, really hope he's all right. And also, right after all of this, dude, his last album was probably my favorite overall record of 2021.
Yeah.
Like, I listen to that shit all the time. It is so good, man.
Yeah.
Like, and
a good record.
It's a really, really fucking good album. Yeah. And it was the most cohesive album of the year, I thought, personally. And it has bangers on it, dude. Like,
it's got bangers. I was privy to Tyler. You know, I like Tyler's work.
Dude, those are my two favorite. Those were my two favorite for sure.
I was such a fan of that album. But and I need to give Isaiah Rashad another run through. Maybe on my run tomorrow, I'll give it a listen. But
the house is burning,
really
man. The house is burning.
I'm a fan of his music. He makes real music.
He's got a phenomenal voice.
He can make classics. Like, he's one of those cats that can you know, dude, he gives me kind of that
dude,
almost like UGK vibe a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he's from Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Right.
So he's got kind of that, you know, like that
for
vibe.
Sure.
South.
I mean, he got his own like kind of sound going a little bit, but
he's got a rasp in his voice, like it's super unique. He's got, dude, he's fire, man. Like,
he's fire.
I really,
like, you know what? Do you, bro? I'm just really like.
I think he could also be the one.
You know, it's like one of those things that it's just like there's this like. You know, humans are capable of doing some really shitty things, and like, you know, you do your best to like see I do my best to see the light in humanity, but you know, as much as there's light, there's also a shadow, and so dude, this pisses me off when I see stuff like that out there.
It bums me out so much, man.
Yeah, I don't give it the time of day. Like, I'm sure somebody's gonna go click on that. I just think that's like trash, to be honest. Like, so especially if somebody like I don't think that's a good look to go click that stuff. I always kind of feel weird about that too. Like, I think I might have clicked a couple leaked sex tapes. Like, not gonna lie, I think I saw the K one, and I think but in the Paris Hilton one back in the day. But this was like, you know, middle school. Like, I don't know. Maybe I was like a.
Oh, you're saying don't click the actual like video, and like also like.
And
it's definitely a temptation. It's definitely a temptation, but it's never the right like link. And also, you're right. I mean, like, dude, it's just like an invasion of privacy. And if I was somehow in that situation, I would be pretty upset. I do have to say, this is an interesting segue. Real quick, side note. Like, Nelly also accidentally leaked a video of himself getting head in his stories last week too. Like, so the segue is this. Like, dude, why the fuck are people allowing themselves and their partners to be videotaped and or doing it themselves on their fucking phones? Like even and now there's Pam and Tommy is a Hulu series about Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee. And dude, that was like the beginning of all of this shit. And it's fucking like, yeah, man, like that is, can you imagine if someone came into your house and sold something that private to you. I mean, like, that's pretty violating. I mean, like,
what, the Pam and Tommy thing, or what's violating?
Yeah. The Pam and Tommy thing, like taking a videotape.
I don't know what in there. I thought they took their own videos. I don't know what. I'm not familiar.
They're the first ones. Apparently, they didn't. Apparently, the story.
Them as like a big couple in the 90s, and like I had a huge crush on Pamela Anderson. I was gonna lie back in the day.
You and like every other male on the planet in the 90s whose balls had dropped. Just like at least for like, you know, like a week or something. You're like, Pam Anderson. Yeah. You know. Yeah. You know.
I was on to anyways.
But that's just I don't. It bums me out that that's what people need to do to get attention. Like, also, like, that's like private, man. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. Maybe you're an exhibitionist, though. Maybe you're an exhibitionist. I don't know.
What I was probably say is, like, there's this like stoic adage, I guess you can call it, and
koan.
Sure,
it's like a stoic koan
saying, and like you know, I think it was Epictetus or somebody like that. He was just saying, like, if you go to a pool and you see that people are splashing and that you can't get upset when you see that there's people running around and people splashing, you get a little water on you and this and that, because you're at a pool. So like when you can't be upset at like the nature of the pool. There's going to be splashing. There's going to be so enter your life like you understand things are going to happen. People are going to cut you off sometimes. You're going to get pissed about it, and then this and that, and things are going to bother you. Be prepared for that mentally to handle that, and then move through your life. And so I think about dealing with people. Sometimes I'm like, I know people are capable of some real shitty stuff. I know they're also capable of amazing things. I'm never really surprised somebody is going to dive to that depth to do something like that to somebody. It's a little sad, but I'm also like, oh, this is humanity. You know what I'm saying? This is a part of us. This is part of our shadow.
I just need to be able to recognize it and stay away from it.
100.
Pretty much.
Yeah. 100, man. Yeah, because I don't need that. I'm going to tell you that much.
No, I don't need
I mean, I try to, like, my shadow, like, not to say it does not exist, it does, but I try to drive it into a small corner, try to drive it into, you know, you gotta keep pruning the weeds of your life, you know what I'm saying? And I think tending to your own garden, and part of that is keeping that negative shit out, and like, you know, and how you speak to yourself, like how you move through the world matters, you know.
Dude, that's a big one too, is like how you speak to yourself inside of your head. That's a really big one. I feel like I've come a long way with that, honestly. Mm-hmm. Like, I used to be very, very bad to myself in my head, and now I'm allowing myself to be nice to myself. Yeah, it's like a big deal. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
It is.
Oh, yeah. It's huge, dude.
Yeah.
Because that's the base programming which you observe the world, right? So if you're constantly beating yourself up all the time, you're going to, like, feel not so great, you know?
And also, you're going to perform poor. Like you're not going to be able to, like, I guess, you know, like, enact any strategies to achieve any goals or anything like that if you're constantly, like, kind of like, you know, sabotaging yourself.
I mean, it comes from
and it's all subconscious too. It's all subconscious until you, like, actually look inward and then realize, like, oh shit, yeah, I am doing that, you know.
I know it is critical. Like it's something that, you know, I gotta work on all the time, you know. But I think true confidence, you know, that's based on competence, I think is something that is cultivated, that you should hopefully cultivate that within yourself, and that it's based on something real, like hopefully a skill set you've developed or something that you're confident in your progress, enough to.
You need something. You need something.
Balance,
You gotta have something, man. Like,
yeah.
Dude, can you tell the difference between me now and the beginning of the pandemic when I couldn't do music?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, like, it has done like wonders for my spirit where I can do music again without having to only do headphones when my ears are messed up. So like, dude, like that shit matters big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah, man.
I feel like man, that whole it's weird, this whole episode has been kind of around the same idea of just kind of like how those in the public eye, I guess, progress through society.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
And it's interesting, kind of like we're at this kind of like axiom where there was Trump and Kanye and Putin and North Korea and Xi Jinping and alt-right and Antifa. Like, it's such a weird time. I feel like the last time the world was like this was probably around like 88, 89, right before the Berlin Wall came down, when the Soviet Union was dismantled. But even then, like, I was alive. You were alive. Like, I remember things from that year. I was 79. I was 7 in 89. So
what are you alluding to?
Oh, just the feel of like, I'm trying to think in history, like what was the last time that felt this like I wanted to say erratic, but I'm not sure erratic is the right word, but this like kind of it feels like a lot of ultimatums all at the same time, I guess, right now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. Like there's this trippy paper, like, and I don't want to get too far into freaking conspiracy shit, but there's this paper from the CIA where they talk about how, like, when they were doing more like research into mind control and remote viewing and things like that, like, and they were doing hardcore research in this, that there are these there are these moments that then put everybody on a different timeline, like the collective unconscious rallies around one moment, and it informs like a new timeline that you can like travel between, like on
so
these
is that
different
it's like
dimensions, right?
Yeah,
Again, this doesn't sound really hokey, but like it's I don't know if you've ever done psychedelics, but I'll tell you, there's a lot more to this.
No, of course I've done.
Than you meets the eye. But I will say, like, they talk about it, and I'm like, I think those are those moments that inform, like, the Berlin Wall coming down, put humanity on a different timeline. The structure of the world and the collective in which we all live changed. Then that was a moment where that happened. Where I think, like, now there's another moment where, like, especially with like Web3, metaverse stuff, and like decentralization, because of COVID, put us on a different, like, we're on a different timeline. Like, think about how quickly we went wireless. We went to Zoom and like all these apps and shit that it accelerated our timeline in a different direction, like, collectively.
It's so weird though for me, because like I was already on that tip since 2014 because when I joined that job, that's all we were doing. We were already like telecommuting a lot, like so.
Right.
I have a unique perspective, I think, in that, like adjusting to working from home was not an issue for me at all.
Yeah.
Because that's what it was for years. So like, yeah. It's so like, but beyond that, obviously the isolation was way different, you know?
Yeah.
But, yeah, that was a weird, that was weird for me. It was a dissonance with everybody else, I think, in a lot of ways. Or most people, I should say, of like working from home, like adjusting to it. Yeah.
But yeah, I think what I was alluding to wasn't like it. Yeah, it is like, yeah, we're working from home. We're going to have to get used to it or whatever. But I'm just saying the ramifications of those events that happened, like you were saying, the Berlin Wall, etc. Like,
right.
The ramifications of us going on to like having to adapt to the circumstances of COVID now pushed us as a human species into a different like timeline. You see what I'm saying? Like, COVID does happen in this world, and then in another world, we all exist and COVID didn't happen. You know, and like this is just again a little woo-wooey, but I'm like,
or we can't live without COVID. In another,
but at least for us now, we can't live without it. Yeah, but I think it speaks to what you're saying in that there's a lot of kind of instability going on. I think in general, there's a big crumbling of like institutions and stuff like that. And like, you know, there's a new kind of order settling in that's happening. I think technologically. You know, so
yeah, dude. So like the weird thing about that was that I lost my train of thought now. But basically, I was thinking that like I was trying to buy time and I couldn't do it. I tried it twice and I couldn't do it.
Trying to buy time. Sometimes I think, man. No, but yeah, dude, I feel you, man. I think
I was gonna say, the more I think about it after you said like and COVID, I was like, oh right, COVID. I wasn't thinking about COVID. I was thinking about all of this other stuff. So because of that, it's actually probably more like 1967 when we invaded I guess Vietnam in 67. Because that's when that was also 60s, and then there was like all of the cultural movements happening, the civil rights movement, the Watts, Detroit in 68. You know, like there was a lot going on around that time, so it's probably more like that. It's probably more like that right now. Yeah,
the divisive nature.
Nixon and Johnson and all that shit. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, Kent State and all that. Like,
Kent State too. Yeah, hell yeah.
I mean, like, it was a weird time, man. So I think, I just
2 generations.
I don't know. Like, I just hope it doesn't come to some fisticuffs. You know what I'm saying? Like,
man, this Ukraine shit is kind of.
Yeah. We'll see, man. We'll see. I think there's a lot of propaganda going on right now. I'm just gonna say that.
I was gonna say, like, I would kind of be surprised if Putin did anything.
Yeah. Right. That's why you're like, what's going on? Like, anyways, I mean, we could go into the geopolitical, but yeah, bro. So what? I guess let's tie it up, man. Let's tighten this thing up. We get
we forgot about metaverse avatars, but we can hold that for next time.
Yeah, let's say that for next time. Yo,
all right.
Next time.
Coming up, metaverse avatars.
Yeah, you got to everything but metaverse avatars, and I gotta be talking about not Lil Monique, Lil
Michaela.
Bro,
Michaela.
that shit blew my mind. I'm excited to talk about that. But is there anything you got coming up, man? I know you got a beat about to drop on TTL, but besides that, what you got coming up?
No, I've just been working on more beats and shit, and I'm still kind of like configuring my studio. I just added an outboard VCA compressor, so I'm like getting used to that right now, and
Nice.
just continuing to perfect the craft at the moment.
Hey, you know what that is?
It's like
man.
every
It's
day.
a never-ending journey.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Sharpen the sword. We'll stay at it, brother. I got a video dropping with Nate Grapes and Milk Main.
Oh yeah,
White
dude.
Grapes coming out soon. It looks dope, man. I'm excited to see how it should turn out. I mean, both those guys are.
When's that
spitters.
dropping?
Wait, what?
When's that dropping?
I don't know. Any week, like within like a week, I think it should be coming out. But anyways, I'm excited for that. Those guys are crazy lyricists, so like I'm so excited for the world to hear Milk Main and Nate Grapes. Obviously, I mean, we've done a couple songs together. So, anyways, that's coming out soon. And yeah, man, we got music coming out with Suave The Jedi soon. And we're always dropping beats. So, hey, man, like stay up on TTL.
Yeah, and check the email link in the comments, or I'm sorry, in the details. And if you have any topics or anything you want us to cover, throw it there.
Yeah, hell yeah. Comments, email us. If you have questions, even like send those through. I mean, we can address some questions.
We can possibly, if we get enough people coming and listening and engaging, we can probably set up a Zoom to take some calls and shit. So, yeah. Word.
All right, well, you have yourself a fine evening, and everybody stay up.
MJ, Fadeaway, perfect.
To the League Beats. To the League. To the League, got that sauce.